Worst traits make us celebrate who we are. And welcome. Let me see. Atula, Irene, Kim, Kui. Yes. Please unmute yourself, get your camera on, and let us see with whom we are discussing today this topic. So please feel invited to put your camera on and your microphone.
Hello.
Yes, hi Kim, welcome.
Thank
Let's
you
see
so
if
much.
the others are also managing to get into the room, which would be wonderful. Of course, it's free. If you decide that you still have to cook and you just want to listen a little bit while cooking, then this is, of course, also fine.
Okay.
No problem with that. But of course, it's nice to see faces and to talk with each other.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes. So let us see. There are several still. Some are, a little bit busy with the technique at times to see how it is working. Perhaps you can shortly share how you did it as a participant. Could you unmute yourself, Kim, and to show your camera? Yes, another one managed. Atula, welcome. Yes, very good. Thank you for coming. Okay, so yes, let's see if some more are joining us on the screen. Can't seem to unmute or turn on my camera.
No, hello. How are you? I did not mute. I was on mute. I just want to say hello
Yes,
to you and nice meeting you. Thank you for this wonderful session that we are about
yes.
to listen
Let's
from you.
let's see
Thank
that
you.
it becomes wonderful through all our contributions to this topic.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for having made the time to join us here, and let us allow the others to just to figure it still out and to come into it. Just check shortly where the chat is, where you can write something in when I ask a question. Of course, it should be an interactive hour that we are spending with each other, because it's quite a question that we are saying here, because we are talking about our worst traits to be our biggest gift, perhaps, and that we actually are in need of them. And this is mostly not what we are saying in the very first, let me say, impulse, that we say, like, okay, I need my worst trait. How can that be? And how can that make me complete? Because generally we try to more like heal our traits that are not working for us, because we know we are having defenses. Who knows that it is a defense? Just write it in the chat. Who is aware that our worst traits are actually there for us in order to protect us from pain? Who is already aware of that? Yes, hi Naomi, welcome. So who is already aware of that? Just write shortly in the chat yes or no. Then I know a little bit aware. Okay, yes. One says yes. And Kim and Atula, are you aware of that? That actually our worst traits are generally there in order to protect us from harm, like when we are, for example, easy to postpone things. Sometimes it is to just not to expose ourselves to something that we don't want, or something that is perhaps difficult, or something that might not be so important, and to attend more to other things which we believe is more important. And when we don't do them, then something bad might happen. So we forget about things. Yeah. So there are all kind of ways to how these traits might protect us. But this is not what I'm talking. A lot of people are aware of that, and for that they are already able to develop a kind attitude towards themselves, because they are aware that they have developed these kind of traits, perhaps shyness, not to get exposed to things, not to fall into the picture, because perhaps they have been made ashamed when they were small. It's possible. And then they think, oh, let me be in the background, let me not talk too much, let me be quiet. Yeah. And this is like not to be exposed again to when you say something and to be ridiculed or something like that, or worse. Yeah. So many people do know that, and it is a good start. It's a good start to know already that the traits that might not be so functional and that are holding us back perhaps, yeah, are not there in order to harm us, even though they might do that, but they're there to protect us. Yeah? And that is already one thing which makes us perhaps a little softer towards them. But this is not the topic of today. Yeah? This is not what I want to discuss, but I really want to share with you today, like how exactly those traits are there to make you complete, and why that is the case, why we do need them badly in order to truly celebrate like who we are, and to let actually also doors be opened, uh, that we haven't perhaps not even seen before. And that is much a step further, just to be acceptant to, our flaws and our things that don't work, because we want to be kind to ourselves. Who understands that this is to celebrate who you are, and that you say, I need those traits, is a very different level. When you understand that this is for something very different, just write shortly a yes in the chat. Okay. Yeah. It might be, yes, thank you. Yeah. It might be that not all people have found the chat yet. It's possible. Let us see. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Excuse
So,
me, is it possible, Karin, to increase your volume, because it's a little bit difficult to hear you out?
okay. Let me see if that is possible. I'm already quite on the highest level possible. Is it that others also have difficulties to with the volume of my voice? Is it too soft, or can you hear me well, Kim? Okay. Yeah, some others can hear well. Perhaps you can pull the volume in your laptop or phone a bit higher. This can be also a reason that you can't hear me. When you put the volume a little louder, do you use a laptop or do you use a phone?
I'm using a phone for
A
today.
phone. Yeah, then it's just the normal volume button that you have when you pull off the volume. When you pull it up, then you should actually hear me a little louder.
I'm on full volume, but anyway, I think I should be able to
Okay.
hear you clearly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, then I can't help that, because my volume is actually on the loudest as well, and others seem to be able to hear me. Yes. So perhaps a recording, you will receive a recording of today. Yeah. So perhaps then when you listen to it again, sometimes it's then louder. Perhaps, yeah, it's possible. It's possible because it's recording from what I have here. So that's different. Okay. So what is your experience? What is your experience like with kind of traits? Yeah, so that you said you have become perhaps a little softer. And so who has already experiences with that? And who would like to share shortly about that? That you have become softer, and why you did become softer about certain traits that you do have, or that you know about. Kim, you would like to share? I have you in my picture, so or Atula.
Okay. I think for me, I'd say if I would speak our street, it's a lot of self-criticism and self-blame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's something I've mostly been working towards. Softening and being easy on my inner child. That's how I would
Okay.
put
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you have kind of look at that aspect of yourself like an inner child, that needs more your care instead of your judgment, perhaps, and you
Exactly.
became a little more softer. Did you become a little bit more softer for the inner critical aspect of you, or that you have are becoming less critical?
Yes, I'm becoming less critical towards myself.
Okay. So you have developed a kind of something that is above it. Yeah. So that you say, like, okay, now I'm criticizing myself, and you're recognizing that you do criticize yourself. And probably you say like, but it's something of my child, you know, it's this is why I have that. Let me be kind to myself. And so it's a decision that you make. And so you have found kind of an observer, as I call that, yeah. So who is above that one? Yeah? There is a level, yeah, that goes on that level, that the critical aspect inside of yourself, yeah, is really also an aspect of you, yeah, and has a huge richness for you. And when we don't really also embrace that critical aspect, or whatever it is, a postponing aspect, the shy aspect, you know, I have not met yet any aspect which is not having really a great gift for us, yeah, exactly as it is, and which makes us complete once we can really see that. Yeah. So this is, it's beautiful that you say that. Yes, so Kim, that's you know, when we reach a level where we can see like, okay, no, there's no reason, so that we become more realistic, we understand where it comes from, perhaps we did do some self research, yeah, and we know why we are like that, which also brings a little softness in it, yeah, when we understand why we have become like we are, yeah, and why we are shy or critical on ourselves. Yeah. Perhaps you um, might want to write a trait of yourself in the chat, or perhaps some trait you're really curious about, you know, which we can look later on to see how that also that trait can be really a big and huge gift for yourself, or for the one who is the owner of that trait. So perhaps just take a second, and before I go to the presentation, I like to, yeah, just postponing, yes, always a very very good trait, which people really often hate, even, you know, because it makes us not moving, you know, we are postponing things, we are not doing that which we actually want to do, and distracting ourselves, and whatever how we are living it. Just write it in the chat. Okay. Speak my mind. Okay, very vocal. Being judgmental, self-criticism, judgment. Yes. Okay, great. Yeah. So we will have a little later a look at all of them, and each of those kind of traits, and perhaps when, depending on time, we want to have a look in each of them, yeah, how these exact traits are actually a blessing for the owner of that trait. Yeah. So before we go there, allow me to share a small presentation with you. And this is like, can the strength of our worst trait make us celebrate who we are? And point here, yeah, is like, let us ask ourselves, that was also a question that I was asking for today, are we a supportive space holding partner to our own aspirations? Yeah, can we actually really create that environment for ourselves, or are we often battling with critical and doubting inner voices? Yeah, and this is just one of the aspects that we perhaps can have, which are holding us back. But also not just criticism, but also like postponing, yeah, is for sure something that can hold you back. So the biggest thinking mistake, yeah, and that is already what I a little bit shared, yeah, is that we don't really celebrate who we are because we are unable to really see ourselves. We are so much looking into ourselves in good and bad, yeah, because we have been like perhaps negative experiences with certain traits of ourselves, yeah, when we are shy and we wanted to speak up in the meeting, but we are kind of having kept quiet again. Or perhaps like what you said before, you know, I'm always speaking my mouth. Can't I shut up ever? You know, I always bring myself into troubles while doing that. Yeah, can I not just keep it for myself? And before you're having finished the thought, you already one saying what is on your mind, you know, and having trouble again. And so this is, yeah, where we are saying like, no, I don't want these kind of traits, I don't want it, but I have it. I over and over show it, yeah, and live it, and seem have to have no control about it. And we can have no control about it when we cannot see what it actually really is. And one aspect of what is important is to really see, and I will share that, the difference between development and change. Because normally, and this is how we have been raised in the beginning, yeah, we are, when we grew up, and this is very normal being raised, yeah, we have been told what to do and what not to do, and how to act and how not to act, how to be and how not to be, because we were, yeah, we were to be fit into the family at first, into the smaller structures of the family, later in the a little bigger structures of school, a little bit later in the structures of friends outside of school, later in the structures of working environment and our social settings we are part of. And it's always about kind of fitting in. And who is experiencing, and I meet a lot of people that are on self development and self awareness, who have often a feeling that they don't really fit into the normal world. Who has that experience? Just write shortly a yes in the chat or a no when you do. Yes, yeah, yes, exactly. The not fitting in, okay, with capital letters. Yes, not fitting in. And that's very typical, because the ones, yeah, that fit in and have a feeling that they do fit in, generally they just are kind of settled, and they don't have this kind of drive, they just have found a way in the fitting in. But very many people in that are in personal development or in the spiritual development, where you strive for awareness inside of yourself, they have an experience that they don't fit in, that they're not so successful with the normal adjustments as a normal growing up, uh, to fit in, and they were not made to fit in. And perhaps by that you escape the normal pressure of fitting in. Yeah. And you have kind of fought already a little space for yourself, where you say, no, I don't have to measure up to the expectations of society or the expectations of my surrounding. I want to be my own person. And who has this kind of experience? Who is there of the people present at this moment? Who is there at this moment who says like this, I am, yes, absolutely, yes, yeah. Then this is where many of us, yeah, many of us are, where we say like, yes, I don't want that any longer. And then we are looking into like development world, and we want to be more self-loving, and we say like, no, I don't love myself enough, or I don't set really healthy boundaries. I let still people, like crossing boundaries, and I don't say no when it would be better to say no, or I'm not so accepting as I should be, or I should be more in in the now. I should not always worry so much, yeah, or I should depend more or less. It depends on what situation you're in. We have, with personal development, we have kind of many of us have put a new suit on, where we think this is how it should be. And again, we don't look into who we are. We are actually missing really very, very important aspects of ourselves, yeah, which makes us whole. And we don't want them because they don't work for us. They made us not really getting there where we wanted to go. Yet they are still part of us. And while you actually, and after this hour, I promise you, you don't want anymore them to go away from you. Yeah, because you will see what the difference between development and change is. Here we say we want to change from the shy one into the expressive one. Now we want to be the very so we don't want to worry anymore. We want to be present in the now and relaxed, and all these kind of things. But when we understand what is true, organic, natural development, what is that actually? Yeah. And for that, let us just take nature to see that. Yeah, here you see an apple seed, and when you look at an apple seed, you will never have an idea that this will ever be a big tree. Yeah, and when it is starting to grow inside of you, yeah, it is just a very vulnerable and small, tiny plant, and still there is nothing that you could see that it will ever have any fruits, meaning it will be productive for yourself, yeah, or others. You cannot see that. It takes quite a while of nourishing grounds, yeah, and in a good environment till it ever becomes a small tree, yeah, and which is a little bit more, let me say, resistant to outer pressure and outer events. Yeah, it takes some time, and after some time it takes some fruits, and you can already, it's nourishing perhaps you, and you wait a little longer and it becomes a tree and has enough fruits perhaps already for the neighbors. And when you come further and it is a grown up tree, then it has so many fruits, you have so much to give, and it is so good, and you can really go into society, and so many people can benefit from it. And those aspects in us, yeah, they are like these apple seeds. You cannot really see of what they are. You cannot see how wonderfully they can contribute towards not just your own well-being, but also the well-being of your surrounding. And because we look at them and say, "What a useless thing!" It just, wants my attention all the time. It is just in my way. But we cannot see what it really is. But we are part of nature, and we are developing naturally and organically, just like nature does. We don't need to plan ourselves who we want to be. That is actually going really to the opposite side, because this is what we are trying to do. Yeah, we try to look in the fruit basket and to see, like, who do we want to be. We look at these apple seeds and say, no, 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 this is not it. I must be more authentic. Something must be there, the real me must be somewhere. So let me look. And we are looking in the fruit basket on the criteria that fits that one. And yes, yeah, so thank you for your comments. Thank you. Yeah, very, very good. So when we understand, and this is what I want to invite you, even you have not yet really seen how every of your seeds inside of yourself is a real great gift, but today you will see that, yeah? That we have to stop wanting to change into something that isn't you. Stop looking in the fruit basket at fruits that are popular or seemingly fitting into which environment ever. Doesn't matter if it is a personal development environment, or it is just a setting on work, or a normal cultural environment, or it is a spiritual environment, because you are already brilliantly made, and everything that you ever want to be is already installed in you. Yet many of those ones are just like those apple seeds, and we cannot see them. They need this nourishing environment, yeah, in order to grow organically by themselves. And meaning, yeah, that you cannot not be authentic. You are authentic and full of potential. You are always your true self, but you're looking somewhere outside of yourself at how you actually think you should be. And certain aspects of yourself you are actually saying no to. Or when you're further in spirituality or personal development, you're kind for it, and you try kind of to accept yourself with those flaws, with those pains, and you try to heal them. Yeah, and you try to kind of overcome them, and they're looked at as hurdles and things like that. But just imagine when you are looked at, just imagine you as a person are looked at as a pain, as a hurdle, as something that is a blockage, yeah, something which is wounded and must be healed. And when you look at yourself like that, or look at an aspect of yourself like that, do you feel good about yourself then? Do you feel strong? Do you feel seen? Do you feel of value? I believe not. Yeah. Who understands that? Yeah. Who would feel, look, also like kind of, no, what am I when I'm looked at it like that? Yeah. As a kind of obstacle in the way. Yeah. So when you recognize that, yes, and when you really can see, when we look at aspects of ourselves that are aspects of who we are, our full and total human being, as being obstacles, as being pains from the past, as something which actually should not have been there, but I accept you because you are Yeah, you are part of me because I live you often. Yeah, but you don't feel that they are really welcome. You don't feel them as being welcome aspects of you. Yeah, can you see the difference? Just write a yes in the chat or a no, just depending if you already see, where we are going to. Can you see that difference? Okay, yes, thank you. Yeah. So this is what I want to share with you, that we develop an attitude for ourselves where we can really see and feel the yes towards ourselves, as long as we're looking at ourselves as damaged, yeah, as something that actually should not be there. And even if there are aspects of it, yeah, we are rejecting ourselves. And how could possibly a seed grow naturally into blooming something wonderful when we give it the energy of that it is a blockage, that it is pain from the past, that it actually shouldn't be there, a mistake? How could it possibly grow to something wonderful? Yeah, we are kind of blocking the natural organic development of that aspect because the way as we look into that. And even if we look into that as with a loving eye, yeah, when we look at it with accepting what we of course want to do, we don't want to reject ourselves. I believe that many of us on the level that we don't want to reject ourselves anymore. And today I want to share with you, yeah, why this attitude is of that we are perfectly made, yeah, is not just an aspect of us, or that we have full potential to be anything that you want. But I want you to fall in love with who you are now, today, with everything that is inside of you. Yeah? And that is what I offer to you today, to see the start of that and that you feel the longing for it. So getting to know our worst traits is a real blessing for us, yeah, to see in our own examples that we had earlier. Yeah, we had the postponer, we had the critical. Let me look into the chat what was written. And perhaps in the meanwhile, you have become curious about some other aspects still. And I want now to make time to go that. Yeah, there was a being judgmental for, yeah, being judgmental. You might be judgmental for yourself. You might also be judgmental for others, and both has a place. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with being judgmental. Yet it might have cost you quite some, because when you're judgmental towards yourself, and you are in the energy of protection, yeah, when you are there in the energy of protection, then you might be in that level, where you are squeezing yourself. Yeah, you have no space for who you are. Yeah? But every aspect of in that is inside of ourselves has a capacity, and this is what I share now. Every trait and behavior has a capacity to be constructive and destructive. Every trait. I have not yet met any trait that doesn't have that capacity. It always depends on to which side does it lean to. When we are in an environment which is not welcoming, yeah, which seems to be dangerous to that aspect, we move, it's fear motivated, and generally that trait becomes more destructive. Yeah? When we are moving to the other side, when we're making space for it, it feels safe, yeah, then it becomes more constructive. Do you already see that in some of your traits that you are knowing from yourself? Yeah, that sometimes it's working for you and sometimes other context is working against you. Can you already see that you have some traits where that sometimes work for you and sometimes they're not? Sometimes your help is really great and you feel safe and it is wonderful, and sometimes it's the opposite. Then you feel kind of the helper inside of you, for example, isn't working so well. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But it would be also totally normal that you can't see that yet, because this is something like also in the program. Yeah. When you would would do the journey together with me, it's a 3 months journey, then you can learn that more and more, just always in every trait to see this unchangeable, always visible essence in a trait. And I call that, this is our human unchangeable essence. We cannot look in the fruit basket of who we are, because we are already wonderfully made, complete and whole, nothing missing, nothing too much. Everything inside of you is perfectly there. Yet we still have quite some aspects that are still on the level of seeds, child aspects, as Kim said. Yeah, they're small, tiny. Yeah, perhaps on the level of seeds, or perhaps a vulnerable plant, but not more than that. Yeah? And they cannot yet. They need the environment where they feel safe, where they feel welcome, where they feel our inner smile and our yes, in order for them to develop organically and naturally further. Not by predetermined how they should be, but just as they naturally, together with other aspects of you, will develop. Okay, judgmental. How can judgmental be constructive? Yeah? Let us start off to make examples how that can be. So when you're judgmental, yeah, when you have that, then what is the essence of that behavior, which is visible when it's constructive and destructive? When you're judging someone, yeah, and here in our coach meetings, in the program we meet once a week, yeah, and then people always come with their aspects they can be aware of in the week, and we train ourselves to see that, and also the examples of the others, they help us to see it more and more in ourselves and in others. Yeah? To when we are fearlessly and having no judgment about it, yeah, no judgment about this, no meaning given to it. What is it then? Judging. You're seeing something, yeah. And in these coach meetings, I'm asking, how do you do your judgmentalism? Yeah? And here it could be perhaps that you're judgmental for yourself. It could be that you're afterwards you're telling yourself what you did do wrong, for example. Perhaps you're also a judger in the way that you are telling yourself what you could have done better. It's a difference. I always look into, like, how do you do your thing? Because there's a difference if you look at mistakes that have been done, or you look how things could be better. You see that? It's a different trait. Yeah. So which one are you interested in? We can also do both. Let us see. Yeah, because in the coaching, we go this direction. So how exactly do it so that you are getting in touch with your exact trait, yeah, how it's working for you and what it exactly is. Did you write something about it? Okay. So let us look. When you're judgmental in the way that you are doing it for yourself and you're looking into the aspect that could be better. Why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I lock the door? Now, again, I forgot to lock the door. So I should be more attentive. I should be more this. You're always telling yourself what you should have done. Yeah. So then you're in touch when there is not the blamer in it, and it's not like you have a feeling of inadequacy or insufficiency with it. That it's simply only that you see potential. You see what could be. Yeah, you see what is possible. And seeing what is possible, perhaps options. You see options. Perhaps one, perhaps even more. When you're very critical, you have perhaps even 2 or 3 things, what you could see. You just see options of possible behaviors, possible things. It could also be how others could do things better. Yeah, options. So this is for sure a trait which, when it is lived constructively, of high value, to see options. But because you are using it for the past and you're stuck there and you're feeling then small and you should not do and all these kind of things, yeah, you're taking the space, you're trampling on this plant, yeah, then it cannot come in the constructiveness. It cannot inspire others or yourself to try new things and to be enthusiastic about the options you just have discovered for yourself. Yeah. And because you're not giving this space to yourself, yeah, and to live with your criticism, yeah, in that way. And in the training we are learning that the training goes with 10 assumptions. Every week we are going with one assumption. Today I'm sharing just this of seeing your trait for what it is. So every week we are doing one mind experiment, and I invite you to play with it for a whole week. Yeah? And here it every of these kind of assumptions that we are working with creates more and more space for who you are. Every week a little bit more space, a little bit more space. Yeah? So that your traits come into constructiveness by themselves. How they exactly will look like and how they exactly will work for you, yeah, depends. Depends on how it will develop. Because also with a child, you cannot just say like, oh, it will. My child is good in drawing pictures. It will become a Picasso. Yeah, you cannot say that. Perhaps it will paint tattoos. Yeah, or perhaps it will become an architect. Who knows? Yeah, you cannot tell in advance. The moment that you decide in advance to what you should develop to, you are limiting yourself. Can you see that? When you decide in advance who you should develop towards, when you see your potential, yeah, then you limit yourself. Can you see that? Write a yes in the chat if you can see that, or a no if you can't. Yeah? When we predetermine, yeah, who we want to be, even if we predetermine the beauty and the capacity, we only need to see the essence. That's all. How it wants to live itself, we just observe. We are training the observer and the observing presence inside of ourselves. This is also why it's called transcending, yeah, the relationship you have with yourself. It's not like, oh, I do now this one, I work on this one. Yeah, I'm working on this aspect of myself, and this one I will now, I will become more assertive. I will, I set better boundaries, and I do this and I do that. You every time when you're deciding in upfront of what you should be and who you should are, you're limiting yourself. Because how would you know to what you will grow to? How would you know, yeah, how your aspect in yourself wonderfully will contribute towards your life and the life of others when you determine that in advance? You just create that environment for yourself, yeah, in order that it develops organically in the way as it develops, and training ourselves to expect just that it will be wonderful. That's all it needs, to believe it, to know it, and to make space for falling and standing up, yeah, for being fearful and courageous. So just to watch your child, inner child, that small plant growing up. Yeah, that's what we do. And this is what we do in the program that I'm offering. Yeah. So we need those aspects, yeah, for ourselves in order to bloom in our lives, to be more constructive, privately, professionally, how we feel about ourselves, just really the basic relationship that we have with ourselves, yeah? And to develop that energy that goes beyond that. So we need them badly, but they also need us. Those aspects need us. They need us, our welcoming energy. They need our welcoming, space giving, and space holding energy when things are not going so well. Yeah, when it starts doing something and whew, it's new. Yeah, a little bit frightened. Yeah, and then you are there. Yeah, so we train the observer of ourselves. Yeah, we train ourselves, and that is transcending. It is something that goes beyond, yeah, your traits. It is there for yourself and for the traits. Yeah, so this is what we are training ourselves to. And in the program that I'm offering, it's a daily program. Every day you're busy with it. I'm working with an app, and I just made some changes. So I also offer in the program guided internal processes with certain frequencies, exactly for that point of you're busy with, that you can listen to and that you can let work on you. So I try to work on the cognitive level of a deep understanding of yourself, but also to train this observer inside of us, that we can create that space, yeah, which is non-dual, as I like to say. There is no good and right. There is just space for what is there. Okay, let us do another one. Let's investigate more. There was postponing, I saw. Let me ask of the critic. Can you see how it is good for you? The one who wrote that, or for, is it an answer? Can you see how it is of value to you? That you are a person who sees option, that you like to strive towards. Yeah? And when you create space for that, when you suppress your critical part or your judgmental part, critical part can be the same, but here it's more like exactly how do you do your critical part? How are you critical? It's important to see the essence of what it is, how exactly you do that. Let us look at postponing. I remember that was also written there. Yeah, postponing. So what is postponing in the essence? Okay, beginning to see. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And this is something, and this is also why I don't just, it's not something that you can understand finally. Today you will understand it. And that's a wonderful start. Yeah? But it needs to sink into our automatic being. Yeah? Because our emotions and how we acting and the space that we want to give to ourselves, yeah, is not just by a cognitive understanding. We understand so many things and still don't do it. Yeah, so it needs a real mind shift, and the program is designed for this mind shift that we are making and for creating this energy where this development is possible, which does not demand anything. Yeah. Waiting for the mind to accept. Exactly. Yeah, waiting for the mind to accept it. Yeah? So this is not something, and thank you for writing that. It's not something that really goes, because it is processed in a different part of our brain. It's not processed in our cerebral cortex, yeah, where our understanding takes place. But the understanding is needed in order to make that shift. Yeah. So as Kim shared in the beginning, and the understanding is needed in order to see that you don't have to be so critical on yourself. Yeah. But you need your critical mind also, because it's a part of who you are. Yeah. You need to, when you are critical, for example, what you should not have done. Yeah. I wish every company, for example, a person who sees dangers. Yeah, you can have brilliant minds with a million options, what all is possible. But we need also someone down to earth who sees all the things that can go wrong. When we don't have those two, we cannot move, because things can go wrong. I promise you they do. And everyone who is a little older knows that they go wrong. So we need people who see all the things that can go wrong. But we can, and this is like the warriors, or the negative critical. Yeah, the people who always see the things that what the mistakes people made. Yeah. So they are so much needed. And when you're one of them, yeah, celebrate yourself. It's wonderful that you can see that. You can be such a help for people, for companies, for your friends. Yeah. But it comes with a different energy. You will live it with a different energy. Yeah, you just see it, and that's enough. And you will see, even if you develop it more and it becomes this big tree of you, yeah, then you might live it in ways you could not even imagine at this moment. Yeah. So be open. Say yes to who you are. Yeah. Love your judgmental, critical mind. Yeah. Love it. It's there for you. and to enrich not only you, but also people in your surroundings. Let us have the postponer. Okay, the postponer. What is postponing? Postponing. You're simply not doing things as perhaps expected, as put towards you. Here again, like how do you do your postponing? Yeah, some people postpone things they are telling themselves. Yeah, they so they are often they have a problem with authorities. Yeah, so they don't accept even their own authority when they say, I want this now to be done. Yeah, and I decide that, then the energy of force comes, and then the inner authority, yeah, isn't accepted because what's seen is the authority only. And they hate authorities. Yeah, so they might become a postponer out of that one. But the basic is that you are not responding to direct orders. Yeah, so something is said, should be done. Perhaps it is something that would be good, decided by yourself or decided by society or whatsoever, something that people say that should be done, or what you say yourself, what you want to do. Yeah, but you're not directly responding to orders. Yeah, which is basically, I think, a brilliant thing, because when you don't respond directly to orders, yeah, that means you have a break in between. Something is put to you, I should do this, and you don't directly jump into it, so you're not directly automatically do that. Yeah, you could ask yourself very important questions like, why do I actually do this? Who tells me to do that? Is it actually something I want to do? Or are there better ways to do it? Do I have to do it exactly that way? Yeah. So there could be quite some um, questions that you're asking yourself. And I think it's a good thing not just to jump into behaviors just because someone says something, or it is always done like that, or people say it is good to do that, and to have it for yourself. Yeah, if if this is really what I want to do, and do I want to do it this way, and does it at all have to be this way? Yeah, so to question, when you really question yourself and you really get your answers, yeah, then it can be very constructive for you and also for other people. Yeah, just to bring awareness, why are we doing these procedures in our company? Do we really have to do it this way? I know we do it since 10 years like that, but is it really something that has to be done this way? And yeah, so let us talk about it. Yeah, so you could have really, just because you don't just accept it like that. Yeah, that is the gift in the postponing. Does it sound as something you like? Does it sound better? Yeah, when you deny yourself that trait, when you don't make space for that it can go towards a constructive aspect of yourself, it has always to come via the back door. Yeah, there's always to come something, which is holding you back. Yeah? But when you really use it in a way as it is, like this unchangeable, always visible essence, when you say yes to it and you make space for it to develop inside of you, then you can watch how it will work for you. It needs a trust. It needs a trust that it will work for you. And this is why this program is important, where we every week, yeah, several examples as we are using in order to shift our mind, and that we start seeing it, because we are not used to see it. But here we will train ourselves to see it. And you will not only see it in yourself, you will also see it in others. And you also will understand that the more I push that a person shouldn't do that or this, yeah, the more I put a person into the destructive side, the more I become a danger to that person. And the more, what will the person do? Now already you know the answer. More of the same in the worst way. Yeah. So this is what we are going to create in our lives. Yeah. When we are seeing, yeah, what that person actually really having for us, and we're feeling more a welcoming energy towards that person's trait. Yeah, for example, a critic. Just imagine the situation. You are a person who is always with options, yeah, as we said, yeah, critical, yeah, or in the way, but always thinking of what could be possible, how could things be better, and you're always like that. And then you have someone in the meeting who is critical, but the other way around, always sees the dangers. Yeah. So you can fight each other up to I don't know where. And I'm sure whoever attended meetings, we have always those two people. One wants to go ahead and one sees the dangers. Yeah. When we can see each other, how we actually need each other in a meeting, when we can value for what it is and not see them as an enemy, pushing each other in the outer ranges, of destructiveness, yeah, then you can see, yeah, how much they actually do need each other. And things are changing when we change our energy towards that. Does that make sense? Write shortly a yes in the chat when you say, like, okay, that slowly it makes sense. Okay. Is the chat working, or are you guys not present anymore that you have left me? Okay. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Okay. Good. But you guys can hear me, yeah? Atula, you also still hear me? Yeah. Okay, fine. Because what we couldn't see or cannot see, yeah, we cannot force development. We cannot force it. We cannot look into the fruit basket, yeah? We can only take what is there. Yeah, and we make space for it in a welcoming, supportive, encouraging energy. Because any force that we put on who we are is a rejection of what is there. Any force. But it needs this conducive environment. Yeah, it needs this nourishing grounds. Yeah, to develop further. As I shared already, just like a child develops naturally, also we do develop naturally. Development is only possible in a conducive environment. But in force, yeah, out of fear, we might do something. What we always will pull back, yeah, when we want to be something that we are not in someone. So the biggest gift that I invite you today, really, regardless if you decide to travel 3 months together with me or not, yeah, but the beautiful thing that you can stop wanting to change a single thing in you. Create that space for yourself for natural development in your own pace and in your very own unique way. There is no other way than your way, your very, very personal way. And that one you can only observe how it will grow and how it will develop. And yet can be for that aspect in a supportive way. And it does not exclude anything. So even if you're very impatient and you want to do things directly and you say, I'm a space maker, I cannot make space for impatience. Don't become patient. Patient is not your thing. Be impatient and lift impatience, yeah, into okay. Someone, the 4 people typed yes, and I'm not seeing it. Okay. Good. Yes, thank you. Good to know that you are with me. Good to know. Yeah. So that is what I really invite you to do. And if you decide today, yeah, to join me in that journey, yeah, where I can guide you for 3 months and to train you, yeah, to learn that one, to learn to become that space for yourself, yeah, for every single aspect. There is no demand. You don't have to do anything or to be anything what you are not. Yeah? It works always, because it is the energy what we are working with is transcending, yeah, that those aspects. It's an all encompassing energy for everything that is inside of you, and it doesn't demand a change in no way. It only creates space. And this is what I got today, this morning, and I put it into the presentation because it really touched me. And it's from Rosaria Roberto, and she wrote that to me because I told her, like, oh, can you share this webinar with some friends, and tell them what it is for you. And then she wrote this to me, and she said, you taught me how to practice unconditional acceptance and love for myself. Life all involved, step by step, day by day. You taught me how to trust the process and stay with it. Baby steps, week by week, feeling how my brain, body, and soul came alive again. It was practical, doable, gently guided, encouraged, contained, and yet so intimate and personal. I could say more. You felt like a companion on a journey back to myself. And she wrote that to me this morning, and I just wanted to share that with you, what it actually can do, and the capacity it has. And of course, there are many people. This is actually Rosaria here to the right, yeah, who have followed the program and who really greatly benefited from it. And I don't want to lie to you. Of course, it's not just something that I say like, okay, you just do it and then it's done. 3 months, once a week, you come to the meeting, you hear something, and it's done. It's not, but it's also very doable. It's absolutely very doable. And just like when you go to the gym every day in half an hour, or you do a meditation, or you do some yoga or whatever, yeah, it's a daily thing. For this mind shift to really take place and to create this energy for yourself, it's a daily thing. But the app is guiding you. It's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, and we all with our smartphones, so it's with us, and the guided processes, it's working on the subconscious, and it's a great program. But I want you really to decide upon it. When this really speaks to you, or what I'm sharing tonight with you, and you say like, yes, this speaks to me, and this is what I really would love to for myself, then say yes to the program, say yes to it, and know like that you will invest perhaps every day, like sometimes 15 minutes, and sometimes perhaps half an hour, and some day that you might not be able. That's also fine. But it is a daily program, and I want you to feel drawn to it, and I want you to say yes to it, and that you say like you feel the call of it, and that's important. That's important. So the the May was a special May offer, and there are 2 ways of doing the program. It's a mentorship program where you are in the app, and you have also the weekly mentorship meetings. There's no personal coaching, but still very good. We have the voice sharing. That means every day, 5 minutes, you are reflecting on something, and you're also listening to your designated partner, 5 minutes. Not more than that, not less than that, 5 minutes, a bit more, a bit less, but between 4 and 6 minutes. And it's so important to start listening to yourself, and to start every day just to shortly reflect and contact. Yeah? And also to hear of what other people do. That's also, we grow so much better when we are together with others. Yeah? That's so enriching and important when we want to learn new mindsets. Yeah? That we don't do that just by ourselves. So there's this mentorship program for 3 months for €290. And there is a Transcend and Create Coach program. And in the month May, I offer it for €597 instead of the normal price of €990 for 3 months. Yeah? And then you also have the weekly coach meeting where you are learning the essences, the unchangeable, always visible essences of yourself, yeah? And of other people as well. But both is very much enriching. So of course it's up to you if you feel for it, and you want to join me in these 3 months. And I'm very, very happy if you do that, of course. And yeah, so this is what I want to share. If you are interested in it, just contact me. And I believe you have my contacts, you have my email, you got emails from this from the webinar. Yeah, so just take a reply to it and tell me if you, yes, you're so much welcome. And oh, dobry. That is it Polish? Is it Polish? Because my second name is, yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't speak Polish, but it's true. My my name is Polish. The first one is Polish. It's true, but I don't speak it, unfortunately. Yeah. But thank you. Thank you. Good. So yes, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing and to be present here, to join me this evening, and let it sink into you and decide if you want to join me in this program. If it's not yet that you want to join me in this program, that's of course also perfectly okay. Everyone has to do it in his own pace, in his own way. You might want to stick a little around. You know, I have a YouTube channel. I will send it to you together with the recording. I'm frequently posting things. I'm intending to do a monthly, or I don't know yet the frequency, but like a meeting to share, you know, ideas about it and how to look at things in this aspect. So there are some possibility, but of course it's not the same. You know, it just to keep you in the spirit. Yeah, finally it needs really some more a decision. Let me just be honest, it needs a decision that you really want to make that mind shift for yourself, to create that space and to really see it, because it's not, we are living in a dual world, in yeses and nos, and in good and bad, and to learn really to make a space for all that is, and to see the gold, the beauty in everything that is something that needs time. Does not need too much time, but 3 months it does need. Yeah, in order to have it on a level that you really can benefit from it and that it becomes normal to you. Okay, so I hope that many of you decide to join me on the journey, and that I see you again in the training, in the workshop. We are always starting on Fridays, so every Friday you can start, but the offer is only in May. So from June onwards, you can start in June, but you need to commit in May, and then you are saving €400 on the program, of the coaching program. This is less than €200. It's 175 or something like that. Yeah, for the 3 months per month. Yeah, so it's absolutely worthwhile. You will become aware of many things when you look again at what people are writing about the coaching, and what kind of development and self-awarenesses they did. I'm coaching since more than 30 years now. It's a long time, and I may say that I'm indeed quite experienced in that, and I would really love to be a coach for the next 3 months. So I hope that many of you decide to join in, and I see you then perhaps already next week Friday. So thank you for coming. It's time. I promised an hour, and let me keep that also. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. And may God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Kim. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, yes, you mostly welcome. Yeah, there is now someone in the picture I haven't seen so far. Jayan. Yes.
Hi.
Yes, welcome. Welcome.
I was the one who sent you the Polish greeting.
You wanted to send me, sorry?
I was the one who sent you the Polish greeting.
Ah, okay, okay.
It
So
means
how
good
do you
evening.
know Yes, good
I
evening.
don't.
Good evening.
I had Googled your name. For some reason, when I see a name that I don't know, I always Google the family origin.
Okay.
To find out where is the name from?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Polish. That's
And where are
fine.
you? It's very sunny where you are.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's. I'm at this moment in Germany, but I do live in
Okay.
Watamu in Kenya.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yes.
saw the retreat place.
Yes,
Kamin.
I'm building right now. I'm building there. It's almost finishing. A very nice center where also will organize some things for people to come and to join me there. Looking very much forward to that. Yes.
Will I automatically be on your mailing list now?
Yes, you will be on my mailing list. Yes, you will also get the recording. But I really hope that many of you decide to join because it's absolutely really worthwhile. Really worthwhile.
Yeah.
So contact me. And I do also community programs. Yeah, I'm also sharing that this program in a little different way with the community. So there's no reason why you couldn't do it. Yeah, there's no reason. So contact me, talk with me when it speaks to you. Yeah, then don't just let it pass and think like, oh, that this was just something, because then tomorrow or in a few days you might not know the topic even anymore. There was something. Then this is how it will be. So I hope I
It's
see
amazing.
many.
Rosaya is actually a good friend of mine.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah. She's beautiful, beautiful woman. Yes,
beautiful.
on many levels. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope we meet again soon.
Inshallah.
Have a good evening and thank you for your time. God bless.
Thank you so much, you too. God bless.